Welcome back to Conscious Living Labs. I'm Patrice. This is our Parenting Wisdom series. I'm always interested as a mom in what other parents have learned in their experience. So as I've traveled around the world, I've asked parents their 3 golden nuggets, those 3 tips that they can share with others. So on a recent trip to London, we stayed in an amazing Airbnb and we were hosted by the lovely Holly and her husband John. Now their kids are in their 20s and they're both on their successful life paths. So we had some good chats about parenting, and one of Holly's pieces of advice is something I want to share with you today. She maintained that it's really important to give your children the freedom to explore and the freedom to make their own mistakes. This is something that really struck a chord with me today, partly to do with my personal experience, but also to do with what I see around us in terms of parenting. Overprotecting our children has become almost a lifestyle. And if you look at the surveys that have been done in the UK and the US, parents feel that the world is much more dangerous today, when actually there are many studies to show that the crime rates have not risen significantly. Child abductions and all of those kind of things that parents worry about have not increased. However, media has increased our awareness of these, so we tend to hear about it a lot more. And there's a lot more fear driven by media in our society today. There's one thing I want to mention though, and looking into this and having talked to a few other parents on this topic, we have to realize as well that the consequences of overprotecting our kids may be just as bad, if not worse, than protecting them well. And yes, our job is to protect them, but our job is also to prepare them for the world. If we're constantly micromanaging, structuring their activities, we're supervising and we're constantly stepping in or intervening, then our voice will start to override their own instincts and they lose their confidence. Then if you think about it, once they're finally on their own and they're out in the world, if it's always mom or dad who steps in to save them or to give them direction or tell them what to do, then they wind up feeling lost. And later in life, it can really lead to them looking for external confirmation, external advice in order to make decisions. So they're losing that inner compass, and we're actually doing them a disservice. So what can we do? It's not easy. Like, I know myself, I thought as an independent woman, I wouldn't be overprotective with my child, but along came little Noah. And actually I did have those fierce mama instincts to protect him. And I remember very distinctly when my son was about 18 months old, I put him on a slide that was bigger than the normal slides that I would put him on. And I was actually holding him down the slide, and my dad came over and stepped in and he said, "Patrice," and I stood back and he said, "Let him go." And in that moment I actually woke up and said, oh, where else am I overprotecting him? I need to let go of it. So if this is something that's challenging for you, what can you do to build your confidence and to trust your kids and let go a little bit more and give them that freedom that they need? Well, talking with some other parents, we came up with some good suggestions. Firstly, make their home environment safe. So the backyard or the garden, make sure that there's nothing that they can really hurt themselves on. And secondly, you can teach them how to navigate their environment, how to handle difficult situations, how to climb stairs easily, and then let them go, let them practice it on their own. So for example, when you as early as possible can let your child explore their own home environment, then they can start to build their own skill and build their trust in themselves. And remember, the more you trust them, the more trust they have in themselves. And the more freedom they have to explore, the more delight they have at each time they learn something new. And secondly, when your child is playing with other kids, avoid the temptation to step in to solve any social challenges. I love the way Jessica in the Danish Way of Parenting book puts this. She says, if you are tempted, when you feel yourself ready to step in, take a breath and step back. Because really, she's right. Our kids learn to navigate social situations and to test their own skills and to become better at handling social situations when we don't step in. So if you struggle with how to balance protecting your child but also giving them freedom, I'd love to hear about your stories in the comments. As always, until next time, have a great week.